Yes friends, now we come up to the last video of unit number 2, that is theories used in public relations. We have got 4 theories: the system theory, the situational theory, the social exchange theory and the diffusion theory. What is a theory? Now, theories predict the way things work or happen. They provide an understanding of relationship between actions and events. Public relation practitioners consider several theories when they take a decision about how they can build successful relationship with their publics. Now, you find theories provide a useful starting point for planning of public relation activities for external publics of an organization. Now, in this study, it will be included a model trial for the same. Let us go into the first one, that is the system theory. System theory essentially works from the premises that publics like customers, employees and neighbors, all these form a kind of social environment for an organization. The reason system theory is of particular concern in public relation is that adjustments require feedback. Adjustments require feedback. It explains how public helps to understand and manage the relationship an organization has with its different stakeholders and publics who make up this environment. Now, system theory is especially useful for public relations because it helps a practitioner to manage the organization's relationship. It emphasizes interdependence between the organization and its internal and external environment. It has 2 systems, the closed system and the open system. Now, in the closed system, it does not seek any new information. It focuses on the history of the organization and makes a decision based on the past performance. As I told you, in the closed system, no new information is taken, focus on history of the organization, and on the basis of the past experience, a decision is taken. Now, in the open system, it uses public relations people to bring back the information on how productive relationships are with the clients, customers, and other stakeholders. So, the system theory works with the publics like customers, employees, neighbors, and all others. Second, we come up to the situational theory. Now, the situational theory of public defines that public can be identified and classified in the context to which they are aware of the problem and the extent to which they do something about the problem. So, awareness of the problem and what they do about the problem. Now, this theory, it explains in depth of the psychology behind public behavior being active or passive in decision making of an organization. PR categorizes people into different categories based on the degree of associations with the variables like recognition of the problem, recognition of the constraints, and the level of involvement. After careful consideration, the PR formulates the strategies to effectively deliver a message to the people. There are 4 categories of public according to the situational theory: the aware publics, the latent publics, the active publics, and the non-publics. Now, the aware publics are those who identify and recognize the problem. Latent public are those who ignore or turn a blind eye to the problem. Active active public are those who take initiative actively about a problem, and non-publics are those who do not have any or encountered a problem. Now, situational theory, why it is important for public relations professional? Because it helps them to categorize people into different publics so that they can communicate to the target audience more effectively. Their communications with the aware publics, with the latent publics, with the active publics, with the non-public, all will be different under situational theory. Now, situational theory is important for the public relations professional because it helps them to categorize people into different publics so that they can communicate to the target audience more effectively. Then we come up to the social exchange theory. Now, social exchange theory is a combination of the principles of economics, psychology, and sociology. In the world of business, it implies exchange benefit. The theory states that human being always tries to minimize cost and maximize profit. When trying to develop a relationship with someone, we look at the benefits we may derive from that relationship. But the benefits are great and we may express ourselves to the other persons more and develop a close intimacy of bonding with the person. Social exchange theory tells that how we perceive a relationship is based on these factors. What we give in and what we get in return. We all have our ideas about the kind and the quality of relationship we deserve, and there is always a possibility of having another person with whom we can have more fulfilling relationship. And the last theory, we come up to the diffusion theory. The diffusion theory is one of the most popular theories of public relations. The theory tries to explore what is it about communication that shapes our opinion and makes us think in a particular way. Why is some communication more effective than others? Now, your diffusion theory, it talks about 5 different steps: the awareness, the interest, the trial, the evaluation, and the adoption. Let us look into the individual aspect of it. Awareness. The organization must do research to find out its target market and audience. Once it is identified, the role of PR specialist is to launch the campaign in the identified market to create awareness about the product or services of the organization. So, identification of the target market and the audience is the first step to create an awareness. Second is the interest. Once the companies are successful in creating interesting people, they would like to have more information about the product and services. At this point, the company should provide more information of the utility of its product and services. The third one is the trial. Giving people or customers a product of trial is a good strategy that the companies do when launching a new expensive product. Fourth one is the evaluation. Now, it is necessary to evaluate initially the consumer behavior in order to know whether the behavior is in the favor or not. And last one is the adoption. If the consumer is fully convinced of the product, the consumer is likely to buy the product or service. If he is satisfied, he may share his feedback to some of his friends. But in case if he is dissatisfied, it will reach hundreds of people, and bad experiences are shared more than good experience. Remember one thing. In the context of PR, it must be remembered that information reaches to the largest demographics. So here we end to your part 2.